Hello everybody and welcome. I'm finally doing it. I'm finally sitting down and getting back into content creating for my YouTube channel. So for those of you that have watched a couple of videos that I recently just posted, thank you for your support and for your really kind messages on Instagram. I'm really excited to get back into it and to be more just kind of open about just like my lifestyle, what I do for like my business. But before I get into all of that, I have my iced coffee that I made today. I put some stevia and almond milk in here. I'm excited to chat with you all today about something that actually has kind of been on my mind and my heart for the last like week or two. I've really been thinking about sharing and creating a video about this, but I just haven't done it. So I am doing it now. Okay, so I really want to talk today about bodybuilding and competing and what the heck got me into that. I kind of just want to dive into it today. It's going to be kind of just like a getting in there, getting out. Just like, I just want to dive into it today and just talk about the decision that I made and how I'm feeling about it, how it's going for me. I mean, that being said, like I have my first show this year, which is crazy saying that. I'm gonna compete on May 13th at the Pacific Coast Championships in Lincoln City. I'm so excited. I am a little bit nervous, but I think that that's just like normal because, you know, it's my first time competing. But all of that to say, like, I am genuinely so excited. And bodybuilding has actually changed my life, and I'm going to talk about how it's changed my life. Actually, I'll just talk kind of from the start of like what even got me into having like my own coach. A lot of times people will come up to me and say things, or I'll have a lot of phone calls with people and they'll say things like, why the heck do you have your own coach when you're a coach yourself? And sometimes it's funny to me because I think every coach needs a coach, at least at some point in their journey. For me, it's more of like I want the accountability and I want the experience of learning more from somebody else who's more experienced than me and who can kind of just pass on their knowledge to me so that I can apply that to myself and to my clients or future clients that I have. So yeah, so that kind of led me to getting my first coach or having my first coach back in April, I believe it was, of 2021. So I was kind of dealing with some like SI, like back pain. I had a little bit of sciatica as well. And my friend Alex Kemper, you know, he is a personal trainer as well. So we'd been kind of talking about training and stuff like that. And he finally just got me on a call and was like, let's just talk about training. Like, I want to be able to help you with your back pain. I want you to be, you know, this to be more consistent for you in terms of like consistently working towards getting better, because what was happening was I wasn't consistently doing certain things for my back. I wasn't managing my stress. My food wasn't on point. And so all of those things were causing me to have that pain all the time. So we had a phone call. Basically, he asked me what my goals were. I told him that I wanted to go into somewhat of a bulk, but I was scared. I wanted ideally just to build like a bigger upper body, have nicer shoulders, rounded, sculpted delts, and I wanted some bigger glutes and nice legs. So ultimately, to be able to have that, obviously I needed to be able to eat more food. So that scared me. But anyways, I don't want to get too much into like my personal like fitness story because I know that I want to be sharing that on my podcast, which I would love you guys to listen to that. But yeah, so basically Alex started coaching me in April of 2021, and he coached me like through that summer. And so he put me basically through a bulk for like, I was in a bulk for like 9 months. And then we had me go into a cut in the spring so that I can kind of be like leaner for the summer, which that was awesome. So I bulked for like 9 months, then I went to a cut for like 4.5 months, and then kind of just maintained throughout the summer. And so really the reason why I'm bringing this up is because during this time, that was when it was really pivotal and like really kind of eye-opening to me of like, oh my gosh, like where do I want to take myself in terms of like, where do I see myself in a couple years from now? Like what are my goals? Like what do I want to achieve? What do I want to do? And bodybuilding wasn't really a question at all. Like didn't really pop up in my mind, honestly, until May of 2022, of this last May. So Alex decided that he wanted to compete in a bodybuilding show, and he had told me that like last like summer when he first started coaching me. He was telling me that he started working with Matthew and he wanted to become a competitor, and he was going to compete in May of 2022. I thought that was awesome, and I remember him telling me about it during one of our in-person sessions at the gym, and I was like, that is awesome for you. That could never be me. I didn't actually say that to him, but I just was thinking that in my head because I had always like seen, you know, bodybuilding and like competitors, and you know, I just like, oh, I could never be on stage like that and like pose and run myself to the ground, like work so damn hard. Like I'm just like, I don't know if I could do that. And I just don't know if that's something I would want to do. So Alex, he trained me still like throughout that summer, and then obviously through his whole like prep or whatever, he was training me. And so during that time, I met my friend Gemma. So she's the one who I started a podcast with. So she is a competitor as well, bodybuilder. I met her at O'Malley's, and basically we've become really good friends, which I'm really, really grateful for her. But I remember one time we had our first workout together, and she was asking me like if I would ever compete in like what my thoughts were on it. And I remember just kind of being like, oh, like, yeah, I won't ever. And she was like, why? And I kind of just was like, well, you know, I used to have an eating disorder, so I'm worried about tracking food, and I don't want to be that strict with myself. And I was like, I also just don't know like what my family or friends would think of me being on stage in a bikini, standing in front of, you know, a lot of people, having to pose and whatever. Like, I just don't know how, if people in my life would support me in that. And so we talked through that, and she kind of just made me like really think about some things. And like, she wasn't trying to convince me one way or another. It was just kind of like, oh, have you ever thought about this? Have you ever thought about that? Like, whatever. And she shared with me what Matthew did with her as a coach when she competed in her shows. And so I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, you know, so it kind of was always like a little bit of a thought in my mind, but nothing where I was like, oh yeah, I want to do it. So then May comes around. I went to a bodybuilding show, or it was the Cascadian Classic in Bend with Gemma. So we spent like the weekend there. And that was really, really fun. And so that was my very, very, very first bodybuilding show I've ever been to in my life. And so honestly, like, if you've never been to a bodybuilding show before, it can be kind of like, it's just interesting. It's like different than what, like, it's different than, I don't know, because it's a sport, but it's like, it's just different. Like, I would never, like, I don't know, some people either like it or you don't like it. And you know, it's great when you know people, like, you know, competitors on stage, because you're like, oh cool, like I can cheer for them. I can see like the hard work that they've done in the gym on stage. Like, I see them on stage. This is cool. Coffee break. Yeah, so I went to my first bodybuilding show. I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually so cool. Like, these people work so hard, and like to look this good, and then like the discipline that it takes, the dedication that it takes, and just like, I don't know, that just was like amazing to me. And then I was like really starting to think, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I could do this. And like that thought popped into my head during the show, and I was like, oh my gosh, like terrified. So I like looked at Gemma, I'm like, I think I kind of want to compete. And she was like, oh my gosh, Michaela, like, yes. And I was like, I'm still thinking about it. Like, I don't know if I can commit to that. Like, that's scary. And she's like, no, I totally get that. Like, we can talk more about it. And so during this time, I was like in my cut from when Alex was coaching me into my cut. And so we kind of had planned for me to like do a fun little like photo shoot for myself, just to kind of celebrate the end of my cut, to take pictures of my body like looking good, because I was pretty lean from going from a bulk to losing the weight and like showing kind of the muscle that I had built or whatever. So I did a photo shoot in June, and that was really, really fun. And that was kind of a fun celebratory way to be like, oh wow, like I worked really hard to get here, to build, you know, I got like bigger shoulders, like every all around, like I had more muscle, but I looked lean. I weighed more, but I looked like leaner than I did when I started. So it was just like really cool to see my body composition completely change. My relationship with food completely changed. I felt like I wasn't afraid to eat carbs anymore. I wasn't afraid to eat a lot of food, because I realized my body actually needs a lot of food, because I am putting that work in the gym and like my workouts, and like I need food to fuel me for those workouts. Otherwise, I'm not going to build the body that I essentially like want to have in like the long run or whatever. After my cut happened and after my photo shoot happened, it was like the weekend, I think it was like a few days after that, I texted Alex, my coach, and I'm like, so I think I want to compete. And he like, cause he had just done his show, the month prior. And then, so I was able to see him through the process of that. And then I just did my cut, and obviously my cut was nowhere near as intense as a prep would be for a bodybuilding show, but it was still like I carb cycled for 2 weeks. To me, that was pretty intense. As hard as it was, I really enjoyed the mental like aspect of it. Like I really had to like focus in on what I was doing and like not let distractions get in the way, which is really hard to do. But I low key like enjoyed that. It was horrible, but I enjoyed it. I remember texting him like a few days after my photo shoot, and I said, so Alex, like I want to compete. Like, I think I want to compete. And he was like, yeah, like let's get on the phone like right now. So we basically did a phone call for like an hour, and I just kind of told him my thoughts and my like just what was going on in my head. And Kizzy kind of just asked me like, what's sparking this? Like, I understand, like, I just did a show. I know that, it's like a lot of competitors are competing in the spring and summertime, and I totally get that. Like, you're also surrounded by people in the bodybuilding gym, at O'Malley's gym. So like, I understand that could be like a reason why you would want to compete. But he was just like, he's like, I'm all for it. Like, I think you're totally capable of like becoming like a competitor and like competing and stuff. Like, you have what it takes. He's like, but I do think that, you just want to make sure that you're like doing it for the right reasons. And he wasn't assuming that I wasn't doing it for the right reasons, but just because it's something where it's like, you shouldn't just do something just because other people are doing it, or just because that's what they've chosen to do. It's like, oh, or like, I don't know, just like he didn't want me doing it for the wrong reasons. He more so was just kind of like not wanting me to get into a headspace of like spiraling, kind of like, where I was like, he wasn't worried that I was going to get back into an eating disorder or anything like that. But after my cut with Alex, I kind of did spiral a little bit in my head with like, oh my gosh, I don't have anything to work towards now. Like, what's my next goal? My cut is over. Like, I kind of almost like, it felt like I had an identity crisis for like a week. And I had talked to Gemma a little bit about it. I remember I went on a walk that day to get some coffee. I was like crying on my walk, and like I came home and I like texted Gemma. I'm like, I'm crying. Like, I don't really know what's wrong with me. Like, I just feel like I don't have, not necessarily purpose, but I'm like, what am I supposed to do moving forward now? Like, I feel like my workouts are boring. I'm not working towards anything specific. Like, obviously I want to still stay consistent and work out and be healthy and all these things, but like, I'm done bulking. I'm done cutting right now. So Gemma was like, Michaela, like, you have to, first of all, your identity is not in like what you look like. Your identity is not in fitness. Your identity is not in your body. She's like, second of all, you really need to look around you and like really start pouring into your friendships, your family, things that really give you life and things that you are able to just like, just have fun and be like me. I was like, you're right. She's like, that, body, like, being in a bulk, being a cut, that's always there. Like, you're gonna cut one day again. You're gonna bulk one day again. Like, but for right now, you're kind of just in the in-between of just like, you just finished this. It makes sense why you're feeling the way you feel, but just take a deep breath, take one day at a time, like journal out your feelings, journal out your thoughts. Like, you're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And I was like, you're right. So, basically, yeah, so that was like in June, like late June. So July and August, well, mostly, it was like most of July actually. I went on a California trip, which was really, really fun. I kind of just took that time. I really was processing just everything with lifting and my body. I kind of took time off from tracking food so heavily, and like I had kind of some free meals, and like it was really nice to feel more flexibility with my food. Opposed to following a meal plan, which nothing against following a meal plan. Like, I do it now and I like love it. But for that time, it was nice just to kind of have more flexibility on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, so I kind of took time for myself. And that's what Alex was kind of saying was on that phone call. He's like, how about you just take time, really think about, become like going into bodybuilding. He's like, also, there's no pressure, Michaela. Like, you don't need to make this decision like today. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm becoming a bodybuilder right now, or I want to compete right now. He's like, you could compete in a year from now. You could compete in 2 years from now. You can compete this next year. You could never compete. So that being said, like, I took the time, and then basically, I just kind of kept thinking about it. Like, bodybuilding never was leaving my mind. I went to another show in July with Gemma, Oregon Open. That was in Salem. That was really fun. And I was just like, okay, what is it? Like, why do I like it so much? Like, because a lot of times people are like, don't compete if you just are wanting to like get that body or whatever. Because it's like, you're literally going to look like that for 2 weeks, and then you're going to have to like gain weight again and all that stuff. So it's like, what is that? What is the reason? Like, why do you want to compete? And so I really kind of started digging deeper into my like reasons. And I kind of just figured, I'm like, I genuinely just like really want to like challenge myself. I love, fitness. I grew up doing sports, playing basketball. Like, I love setting a big goal for myself or just a goal for myself in general, and like working towards that and seeing the progress along the way. But it's not even that, because like I could do that with anything. I don't have to do bodybuilding, right? But I chose bodybuilding because it's like, I feel like working with Alex as my coach and having him like put me through a bulk and then a cut, really helped me with my relationship with food actually. And it really helped me like see how my body composition completely changed. And I'm just like genuinely was so like happy with the results that we got from that, and just like the mental aspect of it, like how healthy I felt afterwards, and like how much better I felt about myself and about my health. I was like, oh my gosh. And like, obviously you know, I don't have to become a bodybuilder to continue that. Like, I can just keep doing what I'm doing and still be healthy. But the competitive side of me kind of just wants to see what it's all about and really just wants to push myself like past my own limit. Like, I really want to push myself and really just want to take myself in a place that I have never been before. And it sounds scary saying that out loud, but I, you know, have the support from my family. I have the support from my coach and like Gemma, Alex. Like, I have people in my corner that I care about and that I want in my corner. And it means a lot to me when they all believe in me and they want to be here for me. And I'm excited to like really take that step. And so basically what ended up happening was in August, I met with Matthew. I met with him a couple different times to kind of ask him a bunch of questions that I had about bodybuilding, about if I were to compete, what that would look like, what my mental health would look like or have to be like. I kind of just asked him literally any question that I could think of, and he answered all my questions. And we met again in August, and he's like, tell me what's on your mind. I'm like, oh, I don't really know. He's like, girl, stop. Like, you know. And I'm like, you are right. I'm like, I think I want to compete. I'm like, I'm scared to say that out loud because I've been like thinking about this for months now, and I just don't know. But like, I mean, I don't know, but like, not that I don't know, because I knew. I'm like, I want to compete. Like, I've thought about it. I've talked to Gemma about it. I've talked to Alex about it. I've, you know, learned about it through you. I've like met other competitors at O'Malley's. Like, this is something that this is a step I would like to take for myself, just to see how far I can go and like what I can achieve. And so basically that was in August, and he was like, yeah, let's get you started in September. You know, I can start coaching you and we can work towards a show in like May. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So I started with my coach Matthew in September, and now I am 4 months into coaching with him, and a little over 4 months now, and my prep starts in exactly 1 week. You guys, my prep starts in a week. Like, what the heck? I literally it feels like I just started coaching with him, and I'm like, how the heck is my prep already coming up so quick? Like, what in the world? So anyways, I've just had a pretty freaking awesome off season. My off season was like 4 months. So I feel like I started at a good place too, because I had worked with Alex for like a year and a half, and that kind of gave me the like build to kind of start with Matthew where I started. So that's been fun. I am stoked. Like, I am so excited, and I am going to be like trying to be consistent with YouTube, like filming my prep and like just taking you guys like with me for things. I do want to be consistent about that. So, and I'm saying it, so that means I'm going to do it, right? Hopefully. But it'll be very interesting. I think that this will be a challenging experience for me for sure. But I also think it'll be a fun experience and just like a learning experience for me. I genuinely just want to see how this process goes for me. Like, physically, mentally, like all the things, all the aspects. I want to take it all in and just enjoy the process as much as I can, and kind of evaluate like based on how it goes from there. I mean, I think for me, like, it could be like, okay, I do one show and that's it. Or I want to compete again in like a year from now. Like, I don't know. I don't want to like say all these things and then like it doesn't happen. I don't know. But I do know that right now my goal is to compete in May and just kind of see where that takes me. So that is kind of the summary of my competing. So I hope yeah, I don't know. Like, I just kind of want, like, not that any of you guys asked me to like, why do you want to compete? But I just kind of wanted to get into it so that I could kind of walk through the decision that kind of made me want to compete. And for sure, like, I obviously go to a bodybuilding gym. I'm surrounded by people who are bodybuilders, and my friends are bodybuilders. So it's like, or like a few of my friends at the gym are like bodybuilders. So it's like, you know, you would think like, okay, well, that's a pretty heavy influence for you to like bodybuild. Of course, they're going to, you know, encourage you to bodybuild. But I genuinely did take time to talk with Gemma and even Matthew and even Alex to just really process through like why I wanted to, because it's not for everybody, and it takes a lot. Like, it takes a lot of sacrifice, like, you know, not going out and drinking with your friends. Like, there's a lot of things that some people just don't want to give up. It takes a lot of like discipline and a lot of hard work, and I'm ready for that. Like, I am all in. So I'm just thankful for the friends that I've had like to walk me through this process and to talk me through and to be like, hey, like, are you in a good mental headspace to jump into this? Hey, what is your actual reason? And I think that has really helped me like really take a look at like where I'm at mentally and be like, okay, you know what, like I am in a good headspace with food, my relationship with my body, my mental health is in a pretty good place. And like, obviously there's still days where I struggle or I have hard days, but overall, like I am in a good spot to start. And so that's kind of what made me just jump in, because I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. Like, when else am I gonna do this? Could be for my whole life, I don't know, but it's like this is the year. So I'm pumped, and like I said, I'm gonna be, you know, trying to kind of have you guys kind of follow along with me with this journey. So just like training sessions, talking about prep and like the struggles or like the fun things, I don't know, everything. So that's gonna be coming pretty soon. But yeah, I'm gonna actually take you guys with me today to the gym. I'm gonna be training back, so that's gonna be fun. But I just wanted to sit down and kind of talk about my decision to compete, and I'm really excited. So that's it. Okay, we're in my room now. I am trying to decide what to wear to the gym, and I just laid out an outfit on my bed that I think I'm gonna go with. So I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna flip this camera around. The chokehold that Lululemon Nulu High Rise or Flow Pant, whatever, have on me is insane. I could wear these pants literally every day of my life. I don't care if you guys judge me for that, because I do wash my pants and I don't really care. And then this really cute halter top that I have. It's like a halter sports bra, like a white top with these pants, I think would be super cute. So I'm gonna put that on, and yeah. Okay, so this is what we're working with here. I went with a black halter top instead of my white one. The white one is a little bit too low cut for my liking. Okay, but yeah, this is what we're working with. This is the fit for back day. Back day is actually my favorite day of the week. Currently, my split is having back day on a Tuesday, so I really enjoy my Tuesdays just because legs already got over with on a Monday, and then I can do my back day on a Tuesday. So I can step a little bit closer. I'm wearing my Adventure halter top, the brand that I rep for. So I will record my whole workout and then I'll post that in the next clip.
You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now.
I feel like today's just been so sporadic because I filmed talking about the reasons why I'm competing, and then I went to the gym, filmed my workout, and then I just had a client, and now I need to go to the grocery store and get some food to cook for tonight. So, and then I need to sit down and I want to edit this video and stuff like that, and kind of just wanted to focus on my reasons I'm competing and then just throw in a workout there for you guys. So in the meantime, I will talk to you guys later.